Hey everybody, this is LH signing in. I'm gonna make this video kind of short. Um, hey, I'm back in California. Hey, feels good to be back at home, back to my original kingdom. But anyways, I'm kind of use this time to kind of reflect on this year of 2016. Um, I'm sure everyone can agree we've seen a lot of just crazy deaths, behaviors, and just a lot of ugliness. You know, almost like a, a reveal of Pandora's box, you could say. But uh, as some of you who follow me and have known, I've started school in Georgia, and there's been a lot of ups and downs, but it's been a very powerful learning lesson. Uh, this year has definitely taught me the importance of just being able to stay true to yourself. Like I can't I can't emphasize that so much. My aunt, who I love to death, my aunt Danita. Thank you so much if you're watching this. Shout out to you. I've been living by that graceful mantra that you've given me, and it's true. If you stay true to yourself, wherever you're at, I'm always gonna stay true to myself. I found this saying to be so real. You as a genuine person won't be able to shun any falsity or ungenuineness by staying true to yourself. You can't lie if you are yourself or true to your nature or true to the essence of who you are. And I think that's what a lot of what I've noticed a lot of us are missing. But one of the things I want to mention that I think you know we've learned this year is that, I've seen this time and time again, but some of us, I've noticed that a lot of us, and I'm very much for my people, my fellow melanated black people. Not everyone is for us. They may portray themselves as advocates for black people, black empowerment, and I'm not just talking about the obvious white supremacists, but I'm also talking about even people who look like us. I have seen a lot of coonery. I've seen a lot of just sell out, just embarrassments this year of black people disregarding the injustices that some of us have gone through and that we've seen this year. And as a black person, you should not be able to discredit anything that you see just because you yourself may not be going through that. Take into consideration the history of this country, and that maybe, if you haven't noticed, no one thinks about or goes back to the time where they've taken a class or looked up these things or done their research. Yeah, research. Research is a very powerful thing. But no one brings up the fact of research, or if they do, the person who is doing all this coonery. It's funny how they want to tell people, their opinion of not really seeing this country as a racist country, and that black people somehow are just wanting to make this stuff up. And if you're a white supremacist, wanting to make this stuff up, but you're not considering your own research yourself, which says in the beginning of this country being a United States, the whole Declaration of Independence never also mentioned that not all men are created equal. And then in this country, you could be a slave and reckoned as a slave. And at one point, it was legal to make a person just based on how they look a slave. So without taking that into consideration, without taking that history into consideration, you want to kind of downplay the plights of black people trying to protest an unright system. And I say you should be ashamed of yourself. No one, not even a blind person, with two eyes, a consciousness, a heart, would be able to spew such bullshit. And I've seen it time and time again from black people. Coon black people. And ignorant white supremacists. And that's something I think we should leave back in 2016. And I don't think it should be covered and counted into 2017. But hey, there will always be people stupid enough to follow the masses that control them. Another thing I've noticed, I would like to say for myself, that I've learned is just learning to value how the dollar, how impactful the dollar is, as far as controlling into your own downfall and your own slavery, so to speak, and disenfranchisement. As black people, I think it's been time that we learn that our money is very powerful. Our voices are very powerful. And learning where to put our money at and what institutions are worthy of our money and what institutions are not worthy of our money. And I think as black people, we must learn to put our money into the right places. As Americans, I'm not going to make this just a black person. As Americans, we need to learn where we put our money into and what businesses are best for us. So I myself will shop black owned, and for black people, not just for their pockets. So definitely learning the importance of money. Third would definitely be controlling, on my part, 2017, if this is you, materialism. Materialism is one of those benefiting factors into our own enslavement. And I will try to learn to buy things that I do need and not what I necessarily want so much. Now, I can only speak on myself. I could say that in the past, I have bought things not necessarily what I needed, but what I wanted. And it's been a very huge waste in my pockets where I could have put money into things that I could have benefited in the long run and probably invested into other things, more lasting investments. But it hasn't been such a huge loss for me because I am a person who is very good with my finances, and I tend to be a smart shopper. And if I'm not buying something that I may need, I usually go for things that are have a good sale or discounted. But I digress from that. But definitely, I think it would be smart, especially for next year, to learn how to financially stabilize and what's the word I'm trying to use? You want to definitely financially Oh, God. I'm sorry, you guys. It very well pisses me off when I can't think of a word that I'm trying to think of, and I have to get that word out to be able to move on. That's the type of person I am. Uh, you definitely want to discipline yourself. That's the word. Discipline. Discipline yourself. My mind sometimes it's slow to catch up. But you definitely want to discipline yourself financially for the next year. So that's what I'm definitely going to continue to work on for 2017. Uh, the next thing I want to say is continuing to know what type of people and who I want to have around me. This has definitely been the case over the years, but definitely I would say that definitely paying close attention to the people who you surround yourself, the people that are for you, the ones that are positive, want to not only be a good, positive light in your life, but also that can bring something to your life. Bring anything positive to your life instead of taking things from your life. Now, not every person is perfect. Some people are deemed worthy of staying in your life, even if they have their flaws. But I think that's up to the person. But definitely, for me, I definitely need someone that's going to bring more than take. Um, and this also leads to personal, serious romantic relationships. I've learned in my relationships in past that I tend to have maybe gotten to a situation or deemed a situation or judged or preconceived a notation, preconceived a situation where I may have thought it was this, but been very much wrong. I also tend to have gotten to many relationships too fast. So this leads me to getting to know someone and being in a friendship if you are about that life, if you are in that relationship type. For the hoes and the thoughts and sorry, and the ones who are looking for that discontinue this, mute this, because it's not for you. But for the ones that want to be in relationships, you definitely want to get to know a person. Try to be their friend because in the long run, you will know what you are dealing with and uh, the type of person you want to associate. You know your future with. If you see yourself getting married, having kids with that person, it definitely makes it's feasible to get to know that person and makes sense to get to know that person so you know that person in the long run is for you and is going to make a fantastic partner for you. So I definitely advise getting to know that person and establishing a friendship first before you decide to invest your time, effort, and even money in a person that you may feel that you want to continue that type of relationship with. Um, Another point I want to bring up is the fact I'm once again mentioning uh, self-worth and knowing yourself. I definitely would say that I've come a long way as far as knowing, growing into my own uh, beautifulness and genuineness of what makes Laurent, the essence of Laurent, and learning what I want from life, and not doing myself a disservice of diminishing what I want to see myself going, and letting people diminish that for me, or diminishing my vision that I see for myself. I definitely want to continue people, whatever you may aspire to or dream or want to go, definitely sky's the limit. Go for it. Never settle for less. Don't let other people shut you down, because there will be other people shutting you down. And there will always continue to be haters, but you got to keep going. And you definitely want to put your attention into the right things, not the things that you may see as temporary. But definitely don't do a disservice of limiting your full potential. Stay true to yourself. I believe the sixth thing would be validation. Also, validating yourself with things that matter to you. Now, I must say that I'm guilty of this for the simple fact of, as far as like how I want people to perceive me, but that has truly diminished over the years, because as long as I'm a good person, and I have good people around me, and I'm treating people with the utmost respect, as long as they treat me with respect, that's all that I could ask for. As far as looking for followers, a lot of followers in social media, just to be validated, doing and saying stupid shit just to get attention, that I wouldn't be doing myself a good service. I would be doing a disservice to myself, because I'm not staying true to myself, and I'm only looking for the validation of other people. So I definitely want to encourage people. We are in a highly social media concentrated, instant gratification, recognize more, wannabe instant fame world and society, but definitely focus on what you want your platform to be in this world, and the messages that you want to leave behind, especially if you are a person who loves the youth. Think about what you want to leave behind, and what message you want to leave back on this earth if you were to leave. And I definitely want to end my life knowing that I left a positive message, and definitely contribute something to this fight, because trust me, if you haven't seen anything too evil this year, you definitely have a lot coming in the next year, and the next year, and the next year. My last thing is live life. Definitely continue to live life, and recognize, the best quote I heard was, that I attained, and I'm going to carry to next year, is, the more I live and I learn, the more I learn that I don't know anything. And that is so true. You will continue to learn things as you continue to grow, as long as you have the capacity to retain information, and the want to listen to information, and the critical thinking skills to be able to critically think and read all information. You will continue to learn things as you get older, and that's what I'm learning. I will continue to learn and change is not necessarily a bad thing, and it could be for the best, it could be for the bad, the downturn, the negative side, it could be for the worst. So definitely I want to encourage everybody to definitely continue to live life, and remember, being real does not necessarily mean that you are a bad person. If it's the raw truth, there's tact. You can use tact. You can use better wording. You can use better judgment. But the real will never be threatened. And that's what I want you guys to continue to bring in and learn and bring into the next year. Love yourself. Try to love other people. Do right by them. Therefore, you will receive more from the Almighty, from the universe, and you continue to prosper. Peace and blessings, everyone. Happy 2017. And see you next year. LH, signing out.